Imagine two people sitting in the same coffee shop, same city, same overpriced latte, same Tuesday afternoon. One of them is checking their bank balance every 10 minutes, heart sinking a little lower each time. The other one hasn't checked their balance in 6 months, not because they're careless, but because it simply doesn't matter anymore. Same world, completely different reality. And the scary part? The gap between those two people isn't luck. It's not talent. It's not even income. It's the level they're on. Because money doesn't just change what you buy. It changes how you sleep, how you think, who you become. And today, we're walking through every single level, from $0 to $10 million. So you can see exactly where you are, where you're headed, and what it actually feels like to move up. But pay attention to level 5, because that's where most people get comfortable and accidentally stay stuck forever. Level 1, ground zero, net worth, $0 or below. You're not broke. Broke is temporary. This is something heavier. This is a level where your bank account and your anxiety have a direct, real-time connection. You check your balance before you buy groceries. You do mental math at the gas station. You know exactly how many days until payday, not because you're organized, but because survival requires it. At this level, money is not a tool. It's a threat. You're not thinking about investing. You're thinking about whether you can cover rent and the electricity bill this month, or whether one of them has to wait. You tell yourself it's temporary. You tell yourself things will change when you get that raise, finish that degree, land that client. But the months blur together. The mindset here is reactive. Something happens. A flat tire, a medical bill, a broken phone. And it doesn't just cost money. It costs you sleep. It costs you focus. It costs you a piece of your confidence every single time. And here's the darkest part of level 1 that nobody talks about. It's not the poverty. It's the shame. The way you laugh it off when friends suggest a trip. The way you avoid certain conversations. The way you perform fine for the world while quietly drowning inside. Most people spend years here. Some spend decades. But every single person at level 3, level 6, level 9, every one of them passed through this exact place. The ones who made it out didn't find a shortcut. They found a pattern. And the pattern starts with a single decision. Stop spending every dollar the moment arrives. That one shift, just that one, opens a door to level 2. Level 2, the first $5,000. You did something most people around you haven't done. You saved. You resisted. You said no. To the night out, to the new shoes, to the upgraded phone, and you watch the numbers slowly climb. And when it hits $5,000, something strange happens. You feel proud. You feel different. You feel for the first time like someone who has their life together. But level 2 has a trap, and it's disguised as progress. Because $5,000 feels like a lot until you realize it's about 3 months of expenses. It's one emergency room visit. It's one car transmission. It's 1 month of unemployment away from being back at level 1. The mistake people make here is emotional. They finally feel secure, so they act secure. They upgrade the apartment. They book the vacation. They tell themselves they've earned it. And just like that, the buffer is gone. The people who make it through level 2 are the ones who resist that urge, who keep the lifestyle exactly where it is, who treat that $5,000 not as a reward, but as a foundation, because the goal isn't to have $5,000. The goal is to never fall below it. And once you understand that, once your savings account becomes something you protect instead of something you spend, you start building towards something that changes your nervous system. Level 3, $25,000. You stop lying awake. This is a level where something physical changes. You sleep differently. Not perfectly, but differently. The 3 a.m. spiral about rent starts to fade. You still worry about money, but the worry shifts from survival to strategy. And that is an enormous leap. At $25,000 in savings or net worth, you have real runway. You could lose your job tomorrow and have 6 months, maybe more, to figure out without catastrophe. That knowledge, that quiet, background knowledge, does something to your nervous system that no amount of positive thinking ever could. You start making better decisions at work because you're no longer negotiating from desperation. You can say no to the bad client. You can ask for the raise. You can take the weekend off without guilt eating you alive. Here's what most people don't realize. Financial security doesn't just change your bank account. It changes your personality. You become calmer, clearer, more patient. But level 3 also introduces a new danger, comfort. You're not stressed anymore. And comfort, unchecked, is where ambition goes to die. The ones who push past level 3 are the ones who decide that feeling safe is not the same as being free. Freedom lives at the next level, and it starts with a very specific mental shift. Level 4, $100,000. The investor awakens. $100,000. Say it slowly, because crossing this number isn't just financial. It's psychological. Something clicks. Something that cannot be undone. You stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like an owner. At this level, you really understand, that trading time for money has a ceiling, and you've hit it. So you start looking at your money differently, not as something to spend, as something to deploy. You open a brokerage account and actually fund it. You read about index funds and don't fall asleep. You start thinking in percentages. A 7% annual return on $100,000 is $7,000 without you doing a single thing. That's a month of expenses. Growing, silently, while you sleep. The lifestyle at level 4 is still modest. You're not flashing anything. You're not upgrading everything. But internally, you cross a line most people never cross. You think in decades now, not months. And here's the thing about $100,000 that Wall Street doesn't put on a billboard. It's not the number that matters. It's the proof. Proof that you can build something. Proof that your habits work. Proof that the next $100,000 is not just possible. It's inevitable, because compounding doesn't care about motivation. It cares about time. And at level 5, you're finally going to feel it working. Level 5. $250,000. Compounding becomes real. This is where the math stops being theoretical and starts being visible. At $250,000 invested at a 7% average return, you're earning roughly $17,500 per year from nothing. No extra hours, no extra hustle, no second job, just time doing its work. And for the first time, you start to feel like the system is working with you instead of against you. This is also the level where people split into two completely different paths. Path 1. They celebrate, inflate their lifestyle by the nicer car, move to the bigger apartment, and quietly slow down the engine that got them here. Path 2. They stay boring. They keep their lifestyle flat. They let the gap between what they earn and what they spend keep widening. And they watch the compounding snowball start to roll on its own. The people on path 2 aren't smarter. They're just disciplined in a way that feels almost antisocial. Now, here's the pattern interrupt I promise you. Most personal finance content will tell you that the secret is finding a higher income. More money in, more money out. But the data tells a different story. Studies consistently show that lottery winners, professional athletes, and sudden inheritance recipients lose most of their wealth within 5 years. Not because they earned too little, but because their identity never caught up with their net worth. The real game is not earning more. It's becoming someone who keeps it. And the version of you who makes it to level 6 is built right here, in the decisions you make when you finally have something to lose. Level 6, $500,000, the year without a paycheck, $500,000. Here's what that actually means in real terms. If you needed to, if your job disappeared tomorrow, if your business collapsed, if everything fell apart at once, you could go an entire year without earning a single dollar and still be fine. That is not a financial fact. That is a psychological transformation. At this level, you no longer work because you have to. You work because you choose to. And that one shift from have to choose to changes everything about how you show up, how you negotiate, how you think, how you carry yourself. People around you notice something different about you, but can't quite name it. It's not arrogance. It's not confidence. Exactly. It's peace. A settled, quiet, unshakable sense of your own footing. Your money is split across assets now. Index funds. Maybe real estate. A cash cushion that never dips below a certain number. You've stopped thinking about what things cost and started thinking about what they're worth. Level 6 is where most people would call themselves successful, but you know something they don't, because you've seen what's on the other side. Level 7, $1 million. Time changes. You're a millionaire. And the first thing you notice is nobody acts differently around you because nobody knows. And the second thing you notice is you don't feel that different either. Not at first. But then something subtle starts to shift. You stop measuring your life in money and start measuring it in time. At $1 million, if you withdraw 4% per year, a well-known sustainable withdrawal rate, that's $40,000 annually without ever touching the principal. That's not retirement for most people, but it's runway, it's options, it's the ability to say, I could walk away from this and survive. You start asking different questions. Now, how much does this pay? But is this worth my hours? Now, can I afford this? But does this actually make my life better? You become ruthlessly protective of your time because you've realized, finally, fully, that time is the only truly scarce resource. Money, you can make more of. Time, you cannot. The richest people aren't the ones with the most dollars. They're the ones with the most undistracted hours. And at level 8, that philosophy becomes architecture. Level 8, $5 million, protection mode. At $5 million, the game changes completely. You've spent years building. Now, the primary instinct shifts from growth to preservation, because losing half of $5 million is not a setback. It's a catastrophic reversal of a decade of work. You hire professionals, a financial advisor you actually trust, a tax strategist, and a state attorney. You stop trying to manage everything yourself because you realize that the cost of a mistake at this level is measured in years of lost time, not dollars. The lifestyle here is comfortable, but rarely flashy. The people who actually hold $5 million are almost never the ones driving the loudest car. They drive something reliable. They live somewhere good, but not absurd. They've learned that spending to impress people costs not just money, but the compounding that money would have generated. What you guard most fiercely at this level is not your portfolio. It's your time and your attention. Because at level 8, the whole world wants something from you. Deals, investments, favors, partnerships, pitches, and learning to say no cleanly without guilt is the most valuable skill you can own. Level 9, $10 million. Money becomes invisible. $10 million. And here's the most surprising truth of this entire journey. At this level, you almost stop thinking about money at all. Not because you're careless, because it becomes infrastructure, like electricity, like running water. It's just there, silently solving problems, quietly working the background while you focus on something else entirely. At $10 million, the question is never, can I afford this? The question is, do I want this? Does this align with what actually matters to me? You spend money on experiences, not things. On time, not status. On people who make life richer, not on objects that signal wealth to strangers. The version of you at this level is almost unrecognizable compared to level 1. Not in how you look, in how you think, what stresses you, what excites you, what you protect, what you let go of. And most powerful realization, the one that hits you quietly in an ordinary moment, maybe while sitting in that same coffee shop, is this: the money didn't make you, the journey did. Every decision you made under pressure, every month you chose to save instead of spend, every time you stayed boring when the world was telling you to celebrate, every reinvestment, every sacrifice, every uncomfortable conversation with yourself about who you wanted to become. That is what built the 10 million. And that is what makes it last. So here's the real question, and I want you to sit with it. Not which level you want to be at, but which level you're actually on right now. And more importantly, what is the one decision, the one habit, the one shift that moves you forward? Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't made of dollars. It's made of daily choices. And every single level starts with the next one you make.